Yes, I'm here because of one thing, and that's you, because I'm here to talk to you. And the reason I want to talk to you is to make you rich, or richer, because I know you're already rich, a lot of you. You're rich in terms of your mastery of payroll, but you could be even richer if you mastered pensions. Now, I was speaking to a very nice lady just before we came in called Mandy, and she said, when water enrolment came along in 2013, we grasped it with both hands, and our firm has increased in size by 100% since we did. And there are a lot of people in this room who are like that. There's Craig over there, for instance. And I expect quite a few of you, because you bothered to turn up to this session, have also worked out that pensions is an opportunity, not a threat. Of course, the silly people who thought that pensions were a threat, are now sitting there wondering why they didn't get a bit of the action. Well, it's not too late, if you are one of those silly people who hasn't been involved in pensions so far, for you to get involved. And I'm going to show you a way to get involved with pensions which will be profitable, whether you are a bureau or whether you are running an in-house payroll, or even if you're running a software company and you want to help your bureau and your employers to do more, make more money, give people a better time. And most especially, and this is what pensions are about, help the people who you are paying money to get a better retirement. There's going to be another session later on by a friend of mine, Catherine, over here, where she's really going to be talking about the people who get the advice. I'm going to be talking about you and how you can make money out of pensions. Okay, I work for First Actuarial, also work for Pension Playpen. Here we go. Okay, when we talk to our clients, we talk to them about simple things. And our clients are people as big as Unilever at one end, right down to some little social housing companies with 20, 30 employees at the other. So it's a right range of employers. We want to talk to their staff about saving enough so those staff can stop work. And who you should be talking to are the very people who we do, the individual people. And you should be talking to them if you want to help people with their pensions and their savings. Shouldn't be talking to them if you don't want to do this. If you don't want to do that, you should give the work to somebody else. But if you actually want to talk to people and help them with their pensions and their savings, then this talk is for you. And you should be talking to them because you're independent. You don't work for an insurance company unless you're dating. Well, one or two people here do work for a Master Trust, I expect, because I think I saw it. Yeah, there it is. Avoid him. Because you're independent, and because you're not salespeople. I'm a salesperson, he's a salesperson, avoid us, She's not, she's good. Right, and what are you going to be talking to people? Well, what people really engage with, apart from their money, is they really engage with tax. Let's see that. One of the ways that we get to talk to people is by engaging them with something that they really want to know more about, which is tax. And you guys know a lot about tax, and you're able to talk to people about tax. I know because I've heard you talk to me about tax, and you taught me a lot that I didn't know about tax, RTI, and all that sort of thing. Tax need not be taxing. Here's a little presentation which we do, which shows people how their salary actually gets denuded, how it gets destroyed by the tax man. Okay? On the vertical scale is income tax. We've got a particular person here, very fortunate, earning £60,000. A lot of money. It's not unusual these days. Okay? The first thing we tell them is, good news, the first £11,850 that you earn is tax-free. Tax at 0%. And the next thing we tell them is there's still some quite good news, because the amount of money you earn to £11,850 and £46,350 is taxed at 20%. And the bit above that is taxed at 40%. And we won't talk about 45% taxpayers because they don't need to do this particular discussion, but there's more you can pay if you're super rich. And then we talk to people about something they know even less about, national insurance. And we say to them, actually, it's complicated because it's not the same bands. It's the first 425. I hope these numbers are right. You tell me. Right? First 8,424 pounds tax. No national insurance to pay on that money at all. Good news, And then you're paying 12%. 12% all the way through to £46,000, and then it drops to 2%. Everyone says that's all very well, but what does that mean in real terms? What does that mean in money? Okay, I'll tell you, because we've got this clever little thing. There's your £60,000 worth of salary. Yeah? It's still £60,000 until the DWP get their feeding hands on it, and you lose oh, is that right? I don't think so. You lose 2% of your bands. Yeah? And then you pay tax. You pay tax at 20% and 40%. Yeah? So you lose another £12,360. Let me explain this in a very simple way. You can do this. I'm going to give you these slides. You can do this, yeah? So, I think there's a mistake in that. But I don't know. Take home, 42,000. You earned 60, you got 42,000. That's how it works, right? Now, not a lot of your members actually get to think about it in as simple a way as that, yeah? But you can show them that, yeah? You're allowed to do so. Nobody is going to say that's advice, that's information. All right, and every £100 that person earns above 60,000 by way of a bonus, yeah? That's also going to be suffering national insurance. And it's also going to be suffering tax. So they only get £58 for every £100,000 they earn above. People understand that, they like that. Once you've got them in the mood, remember I'm telling you how you can talk to people about pensions. You start by talking to them about tax, they understand tax. Yeah? Pensions is hard. Once you've got them going, right. Now pensions is different, right? And this is where things get really nice, because whereas tax on your salary is tough, yeah, it's not so tough on pensions, because you lose that national insurance. There is no national insurance to pay on your pension. I know, I am a pensioner. I pay no national insurance on my pensions. It's great. But you still pay income tax. So if you had a £25,000 pension, yeah, look, through that 20% tax band, you still pay £2,630 worth of tax. But, yeah, you get to keep £22,370 of your £25,000 pension. It's a lot better in retirement, guys, yeah? So get yourself a decent pension, you don't have to pay so much tax in later life. That's a simple message. Of course, people think it's not as easy as that, and it isn't, yeah? Because you're going to need a lot of money to stop work, yeah? And we'll try and explain that, yeah? Research suggests that most people need between 50% and 75% of their current salary to stop work. And that's, I think you'll agree, quite a large range. If I was to ask you to take anything between a 50 and 75% pay cut, or 50 and 25% pay cut, you'd say, yeah, well, I might do a 25% or 50% pay cut, I'm not so sure about that, yeah? Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, an awful lot of people are likely to get much more than a 50% pay cut when they finally pack things in. And that, I'm afraid, is the harsh reality, is that they're not saving enough money. So, you're in the fortunate position, you're sitting here, yeah, and you're thinking about it now, not too late, yeah, have a chat with your partner. What do we need? Yeah? Well, this is Danny, she's a friend of mine. She's married to the finance director of my company, as it happens. Yeah? And she's worked for First Actuarial. I shouldn't say that, she's a theoretical character, actually. She hasn't worked for but she's a theoretical character. Yeah?
Sounds like that.
Yeah. And Danny's worked for us, no, somebody else, for 5 years. And she's earning around £60,000. And she's paying 60% into an L&G workplace pension plan. L&G is Legal & General. That's actually, by coincidence, the Legal & General is the plan I pay into because I am a First Actuarial. That's totally coincidence. Okay. She wants enough money to stop work. Now, she thinks about it with her husband, who happens to be the finance director of a certain company, and they work out that they're not going to have a mortgage in retirement, the children will have gone away, they think. They think, well, when I get to retirement, I won't have to save for retirement because I'm there, yeah? And I've just worked out, I've got the national insurance to pay, so that's all good, yeah? On the other hand, yeah, there's a whole lot of things which are going to happen, right? But somebody called retirement the longest holiday of your life, yeah? Well, if it's the longest holiday of your life, do you spend more or less when you go on holiday? More, yeah, so big opportunity for you to spend a lot more on things like leisure. Yeah, and because you are old, and because you are sitting in front of a fire all day, you spend a lot more money on heating. I don't think this slide's ridiculous. And of course, long-term care, we all know that. You know, yeah,
You, or more particularly, in my case, my parents. Yeah, you've got to sort of do lots and lots of thinking about looking after other people, if not yourself. So Danny sits down there and she thinks, right, I've got no mortgage, spending might reduce, 15 grand, no children. Well, I've got children, they buggered off. No retirement savings, saving myself 5 grand a year, no national insurance. All good news, yeah? But on the other hand, yeah, my spending might increase. Now, you see what I'm doing here? I'm not advising people, I'm just giving a theoretical example. You could do this, couldn't you? You could explain this. You could explain about Danny. Yeah, you might want to get Danny to earn 60,000, because that might be a bit much or too little, depending on the circumstances. But Danny's a good example. She's going to spend a little bit more on holidays, she's going to spend a little bit more on leisure, she's going to spend some more money heating herself, and, well, she's not going to be able to spend much money on long-term care. She's hoping she's going to be able to use her house for care. That kind of restricts her. She's going to not be able to get out and do much work. She's looking after her parents. That's her view of life. Yeah. So in total, her earnings will, her need for earnings rather, will go down 33,000 in terms of reductions, but up to 5,000. So net, she's £28,000 better off retirement. So she's looking at 60 minus 28, so I'm not very good mathematician, but I think I can work out that's £32,000. That's what she needs, £32,000. Danny retires at 65. That's what she says she's going to knock it on the head. And look, there it is, that little red line is her target income of £32,000. Now, if I had 2.5 hours, I could go into a very long presentation, yeah, talking about all these things. I could talk about a workplace pension, a state pension, or other pensions from other employments. I could even talk to you about cash, shares, ISAs, inheritance, buy-to-let, own home. If you want to talk to people about that, you've got lots of time, that's fine. But I'm going to concentrate on the one thing that really matters in this particular environment, yeah, and that's your workplace pension. Because all of us are involved in workplace pensions, yeah? Hands up if you aren't involved in workplace pensions, in some respect. No, all. Oh, you aren't. Right, because you're retired. No? No. Other reason. Talk to you afterwards. Right. Your workplace pension, right? Now, Danny, like everybody else in workplace pensions, apart from a few gits who think they know better and can invest their own money, like me, is involved in the default funds. Yeah? And we had a look and see what Danny's default fund actually is. We went to Legal & General, workplace pension, and they gave us this very useful slide. What actually happens when you give the money to Legal & General? And they said, we invest it. Now, actually, we did a survey of people, and a lot of people didn't actually realise that if you give your money to an insurance company, they invest it. They thought it sort of went into a great big pot and came out the other end, and they hadn't a clue what happened in the meantime, but investment wasn't part of the equation. But actually, insurance companies do invest it. Yeah? And they invest in things which are helpfully called equities and investment-grade credit and government bonds and alternative credit and alternatives. Yeah? Now, if you know what those things are, yeah, you're cleverer than I am. They're all very, very complicated things. But, right, some of them, I am told, are to do with shares, which grow lots, yeah, and some are to do with bonds, which kind of like don't grow much, but give you some income, yeah, and are more defensive. Defensive means they protect you in bad times. Equities are good for growth and good in good times. We're in good times at the moment, by the way, in case you didn't know. We're coming out of recession. We're coming out of austerity. Everything in the garden is rosy. Have you noticed? Right, so rule of thumb for Danny, yeah, he's invested for the long term. Her shares, she should have shares in her portfolio. That's the general accepted position. You can say this, yeah? We spoke to First Actuary and they said there's a rule of thumb, you should be invested in shares up to 100% less your age. So if you're 0 age, yeah, you should be 100% invested in shares. But Danny isn't 0, is she? Danny is like 45, yeah? And, funnily enough, yeah, if you add 39 to 39.5 to 14, alternatives are shares, by the way, I'm told, yeah, I'm told, yeah, you get to 45. So Danny is invested in exactly the right amount of shares and exactly the right amount of bonds. That's just pure good luck for Danny, yeah? But you can sort of explain to people and say, most defaults are invested in shares and in bonds, yeah?
And shares are good because they grow when times are good, and bonds are good because they give you protection when times are bad, and you want a balance of the two. And that is all you have to say. That's what is going on with your money. It's invested in shares and bonds. Yeah. Now, anyone can dispute with me on that, but I think I'm right, because that's what people like her tell me, that she's an actuary. All right, so Danny's doing well. So, thumbs up. Well done, Danny. You can say that, you can explain. That's how our default works, shares and bonds, yeah? And typically, if somebody's about 45, the default works for them. And there are lots of other ways, but you can get help in talking about this. You can go and talk to your advisors, if you have advisors, or you can even talk to the insurance companies, and they will give you ways of explaining how your money is invested. But it's not beyond you guys to learn, is what I'm trying to say. Because if an idiot like me can learn, you can too. Yeah? And I'm trying to explain it in idiot's terms, because frankly, most people, when it comes to investing money in pensions, feel like they're idiots. So if somebody talks to them and says, look, I'm an idiot too, it kind of helps. And that's why you, yeah, although you're not idiots, can be really helpful to people, because they know you're independent, they know you're not trying to sell them something, yeah, and they know that you're one of them. You're on their side, and there's trust. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that is so important. Okay. So, what will Danny build up, right? Now, we always say, use what workplace pension providers offer you, yeah? So you've all got workplace pension providers for your employer, as an employer. And if you're running a bureau, you probably know 4 or 5 or maybe 10 or 15 workplace pension providers. Most of them should give you a whole load of marketing materials. Use those materials. Go on their website and talk to them and say, what can I tell my staff? Yeah? Because that's the simplest way of doing it. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. If you've got a financial advisor, great. Yeah? Get him to help you. You can even get him along to the presentations, but don't let him take over. Yeah? You're the boss. You're the smart guys who run payroll. Yeah? You're the guys they trust. They don't trust the financial advisor. They trust you first. Okay, so this is what Legal & General told us, yeah? And they gave us a whole load of stuff. They said, right, you're 45, you're on 60,000, she knows that, yeah? She's got 46 grand in her pot, Danny, yeah? And she pays total monthly pension contributions. Actually, she pays rather a lot. She pays 18%, £900 a month. And that's the investment strategy. The scary number, yeah, is when Danny puts into the calculator that she wants £32,000 at 65. Ka-ching! Yeah? You, Danny, need not 46,000, but £262,000. Yeah? Now that's a pretty scary thing to tell people. You say to somebody, you've only got 46 grand in there. Now, not many people I know have got 46 grand in their pensions, so Danny's doing quite well. But imagine getting to 262,000, that's a big ask. Yeah? So it could be worth 262,000, but what does that mean? Yeah? Danny's going to be putting in 18% of her salary between now and retirement. Good old Danny, yeah? Well, the insurance company then say, well, there are 3 projections. You can't see that because the signs are too small, but this one says weak return. If your pensions do real rubbish, Danny, you're going to get 4 grand a year, yeah, pension from your current saving, yeah? Even if your pensions do average, you're only going to get 10 grand, yeah? You're going to need to have real investment growth and a strong return to get to 20 grand. What does this tell Danny? It tells Danny that she's not going to be saving enough to get to her £32,000. Sorry, Danny, that's bad news. Is Danny downhearted? Yes, she probably is. It's really bad news. Can I tell you something different? No, right? Is it worth telling people a lie? No. You've got to tell it like it is. Sorry guys, these workplace pensions are not going to be the magic beans which grow you the magic retirement tree which is going to show money. Be honest with people, right? Danny ain't going to get there unless she saves a truckload more money than she is now or retires an awful lot later than 65. And 65 is quite a long time to go, yeah? And I'm afraid this is what you've got to be. You've got to be the bearer of bad news, because that's what people want you to be. They want you to be honest and right. Yeah, they don't want you to be shaking projections at them and saying, this is what's going to happen, everything's going to be all right, because they know that's manana. Tell them it like it is. All right. Average returns. Yeah? If Danny bought an annuity, you get 9 grand from that 262,000 today. Yeah? An annuity is a guaranteed return. Danny probably can't afford to buy an annuity because she needs 32,000 and the annuity will only give her 9,000. Instead, Danny could, if she wanted to, get involved in something called drawdown. How many people have heard of drawdown? Yeah. Most people know what drawdown is. If I'd asked that question 5 years or even 10 years or even 5 years ago, I think the number of people who'd ever heard of drawdown wouldn't matter, so wouldn't be nearly as high. One of the things that Pension Freedoms has done is it's brought to people's attention the fact that they have a big fat pot from which they can draw their money down. It's called drawdown. Okay? In the case of Danny, yeah, there's a target income of 32,000. That's the amount that she's going to get from her pension if she carries on saving this way. It's not guaranteed, but that's the projected amount. Yeah? And again, right, depending on how Danny does in retirement or how much she decides she's going to draw down, she may or she may not run out of money. Because the sad truth is that if Danny decides she's going to draw £32,000 a year out of her pot of £262,000, yeah, her savings will run out, I don't know if you can see here, at the age of 73. So Danny will be only fine for 8 years. That's the sad truth. Yeah? That's why we say to Danny, look, you've got to be realistic, Danny, you're not going to get to £32,000 a year, right, without your money running out. You can get 32,000 for 8 years, but it's going to run out. Home truths. Okay. Now, Danny might say, well, stuff this, yeah, this whole wage for life, income for life. I want my money now. Give me my money. All right, Danny, you want your £262,000? You can have it now, and it comes with a whacking great tax bill of £74,000. You want to pay £74,000 worth of tax to get your money into your bank account? I'm not sure you do. £74,000 on a one-off lump sum of £188,000 plus the tax-free bit. Okay, we call Danny a muppet if she takes it. She is not just a muppet, but if she takes all her money at once in 1 year, she's 100% muppet. Yep, there she is, 100% muppet. But what, instead of Danny taking all her money at one go, yeah, what if Annie decided to change? You can't see this very well. To draw that money down instead of from 1 year, over 4 years, yeah? Well, what happens then is that instead of being 100% muppet, she takes £27,600 a year, and she becomes she pays £27,600 worth of tax instead of £74,000, and she becomes 31% muppet. And, yeah, it could get even better for Danny, because if Danny decides she's going to take her money over 10 years, yeah, then she's going to save herself £40,000 worth of tax, yeah, and in our view, she wouldn't be a muppet at all doing things that way. She could draw down, yeah, her money over 10 years, and Danny that would be the most effective way to do it. Does anyone read the Times? Yeah, if you go and have a look in the money section on Saturday, see a very good article, should I pay off my mortgage for my pension? Yeah, which I am actually going to give the answer to that, because I'm in it, yeah? But I say just this, yeah? I talk about the Muppetometer. And one thing that staff love, yeah, is being talked about as Muppets. Yeah, I do. So, I love it.
Did he tell you that they love that?
They do. Our feedback is that the Muppetometer is brilliant. Yeah? Because they say, I don't want to be a Muppet. Show me how not to be a Muppet. And in 4 simple slides, I can show them how to be a 0% Muppet. Yeah? It gets the ideas across. Then do you get this, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not talking here about being nice and cuddly or whatever. I'm talking about talking to your staff in a reasonable way, without giving them financial advice, without even giving them guidance, just telling them it as it is, using simple things that even somebody as stupid as me can explain. Okay. Here's another thing that people are totally baffled by. Their state pension. Nobody knows what their state pension is going to be. Except you can ask the government and they'll tell you. Did you know that? You did, you all knew that. Does your staff know that? Not quite as many yeses on that, yeah? Well, you can, yeah? This is one of the best things you can do. Have everyone heard of a pension dashboard?
Yeah, the idea of the pension dashboard is that you'll be able to get yourself a state pension forecast, a little bit quicker than this. But this is as far as we've got towards a pension dashboard so far. Yeah. In order to get your statement, all you need is a passport, a pay slip, and a P60. Yeah. Do you need all three of those, Catherine?
No, you just need one.
Just need one. There you are. You see, that's the expert. Only one of them. With your passport, or with a P60, or with a payslip, yeah, you have all the information you need to click on that link, gov.uk, check state pension, and you'll get. And I've done it, yeah. And boy, is it good news, yeah, because it tells Danny that she's already got £200 a week coming to her when she gets to retirement. Not 65, which is a little bit too young to get a pension at 65. It's 67. But she's already got £200 a week, so that's 10 grand towards her 32 and a half before she gets round to it. So that's good news for them, yeah? And actually it's good news for your staff. If you can explain to them, they can see what they've got coming from them, they're probably going to get a nice surprise, because £200 a week isn't bad. It's a lot more than a lot of people think they're going to get from the state pension. Oh, Danny did say she's a bit sort of like financial controllers are a little bit, I don't know if that's going to happen. She said, I'll probably have to wait till 68. But as it stands at the moment, for Danny, at 67, she's going to get £160 a week. Yeah, just not bad. Of course, she also works out that if she just stops working, never does another stroke of work in her life, yeah, she's only built up £85.32 a week at the moment, yeah? So she's got to keep on working through to 65 in order to get that. Okay, that's me done. How are we doing for time?
We're doing good, sir. Yeah, we've got at least 5 or 10 minutes for questions.
5 or 10 minutes for questions. All right, I've got a question for you. How many people, put your hands up, yeah, would like to be able to talk to your staff, or even to the staff of the people who you work for if you're a bureau, for your clients? How many people would like to speak? How many people would you actually like to speak to your staff about pensions? A fair number of you, right? How many of you feel constrained from doing it because you don't know what you're talking about? That's a very brave answer. I feel that way too. I feel scared stiff about getting up and talking about it. And that's why First Actuarial do not put me on the financial education team. Yeah? Because frankly, I'm a bit of a liability. I'm a bit of a nightmare, right? But you guys are better than me. You're more sensible. You can learn this stuff and you know tax and whatever, right? Actually, you do know what you're talking about. You know it deep down, right? Okay, how many people are scared because they feel that the regulator might come down on them and say you're giving advice rather than guidance? One back. Yeah, thank you. All right. I totally agree. We're all scared stiff about whether we're giving advice or guidance, yeah? Or even information. You've got your hand. Have you got a question? No, you just put your hand up saying you were scared. Yeah, and I don't blame you either, right? It's not easy, yeah? But I hope, yeah, but some of you will look at this and go, maybe I could give this a go if I had somebody who gave me a little bit of help, a bit of love, a bit of coaching, guidance, yeah? A bit like this session. And this is not me selling First Actuarial, but if you do want to contact me, you know I'm on LinkedIn, everyone knows me, Henry Tapper, yeah? But I will put you in touch with somebody who will, without charging you a huge amount of money, help you to get on the way to doing this, yeah? And if you want them to do this work for you because you work for a nice big employer who pay our fees, then we'd be happy to do it. But we have no obligation whatsoever. But I really want to see people getting out and doing this. So that's me asking a question of you and answering it. That's bad. Have you got any questions? Yes, Carl.
What is the conclusion here? That you already can retire by having a pension?
No, right? That is certainly not the truth. Because Craig, my friend here, right, he has just paid a huge amount of money to his dad to buy his dad out of his pension. And his dad's pension is his business, yeah? Is that right? Yeah, I know that's right. So no, it's not the only way, right? The only way for most ordinary people to be able to retire is to have a large amount of money, either as a capital reservoir or, if they're very lucky, as a defined benefit guaranteed pension. That is the honest truth. That is the only way that most people will retire. Talk to 145,000 postal workers, yeah, and they will say, if I don't get a proper pension, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah? That's why the postal workers nearly went on strike for their pensions, why the universities people went on strike on their pension, is why for a lot of us, pensions matter an awful lot. That's why I'm in pensions, because I do believe they're the best way for people to retire. Most people, not people like you, not entrepreneurs like you, or Craig, or whatever, most people. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Right, you had a question.
I just wanted to ask you for, I know you're not going to know the answer to this, Henry, but...
I don't know the answer.
No. I'm still going to ask you, though.
Yeah.
On the 29th of October, when the Chancellor stands up, what's he going to do about his latest raid on pensions, do you think?
The latest raid on pensions, you know, the latest fictional raid on pensions, drummed up by the pensions industry to get you to put money into pensions between now and the 29th. That one, yes. Well,
Not going to work.
don't listen to the Jeremiahs, right? Just business as usual. If a Chancellor has a go at pensions, it will be for the people like me who are rich. Yeah, it won't be for the people like most of the people you deal with who aren't pension rich. Yeah, I really don't think that we should be worried about what the Chancellor does on the 29th of pensions. We should be bloody pleased about one thing, and that's, thank goodness, we finally got the Treasury to accept that they have got a problem over net pay. And if anyone read the newspapers this morning, the Treasury have written a letter, which I've got a copy of, to a whole bunch of people like me saying we are going to do something about the net pay scandal where the very poorest people in our pensions are not getting any tax relief or government incentive because they're in a net pay scheme rather than a relief at source scheme. And that could be one thing that's announced in the government, which is good, in the budget, which is good. Yeah, so I'm positive about this budget, not negative, right? But you won't hear anyone else saying that. But if you read my blog, you'll see I'm consistent about
You're
that.
a higher rate taxpayer than those people might have a different view.
Yeah, it might be. I might be marginally less rich. Yeah, but that's a rich man's problem. Yeah, I'm really not interested in rich man's problems. Yeah.
Henry, the one comment I thought you'd make is what the average pension pot is.
£36,000.
I think it's less than that.
Well, actually, the average pension pot is a lot less than that.
20,000.
20,000.
20,000.
Because what happens is that the average pension entitlement in DC is 36,000, but it's split over a number of pots, which is another big problem. But I'm not going to talk about that today because I'll be here all day. Any further questions?
What's your view on the state pension? Is that going to be around?
Yeah. It's going to be around and it's flourishing.
Can I get that in writing?
I don't know why everyone's so cynical about the state pensions. I think it's going to be around. Yeah, I do. I don't know why.
It's worth less though.
Come on, we pay our national insurance, we get our pensions. Yeah.
It was a question of your view, your presentation. I love it. You know, I obviously understand it. But some people.
Do you? Bloody hell, that's good news.
Some
Thank
people,
you.
My worry when we start to talk to people about pensions is if we go into some of this detail, that hackles go up and it could scare them, so they just go, no, and stop.
Yeah.
Because the example you used there was somebody who was quite well off, and
Yes.
so the distance and the hole that was created is quite large. Whereas the average earner, which the pensions legislation is trying to sort out the most of, the distance between their state pension and what they'll need in retirement is quite a lot less, Henry, and that hole will be a bit different. Do you think we've got to be a bit careful with what we do?
That's aimed at 60 grand earners, right? We've got another version which is for 20 grand earners and it's different. Yeah?
That's what I was trying to get across there.
But I mean, but I don't know, I don't know, but didn't know where to pitch it. Yeah? But I mean, for a lot of people, right, we're going to spend the money, let's face it, we're going to spend the majority of our financial education budget on those people who are earning, you know, who are more mature, got some money, and who are perhaps more senior in the company. So that's where we pitch the 60. But I totally get it. I mean, I love talking to people who are just starting out. I mean, I haven't seen my son, he's 20, he's just starting a workplace pension. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's pretty interesting. Young people are, yeah, but they ain't earning this kind of money because they've got a different set of problems. And you do need to segment your people when you're doing it. So yeah, there are about 5 or 6 versions of this. Thanks for that question.
Yeah, picking on your earlier point about the government stating that they tend to do something about net pay rate and tax relief,
Yeah.
what do you reckon will happen? Are we talking like a mass migration towards relief at source, or maybe like some sort of tax credit given to earners who are not getting any tax relief from net pay arrangements? What are your thoughts on that?
If you want me to get technical, I won't, because I'm going to get it wrong. But I understand there's something called Scottish income tax, right? Where you've got 21, 19, 20, all kinds of problems, yeah? There's a poor man here to have to deal with this. Now, in order to deal with the kind of implications of those kind of problems against the standard 20%, which everybody else gets, the Treasury have committed to taking up the bonnet and recoding a lot of the year-end tax coding adjustments, so that people who are on those strange tax positions will have a recoding. Now, I am told by experts that it is relatively easy, once the bonnet is up, to go and do the same thing for those people who are on relief at source. And indeed for those people who are on net pay. So those people who are, for instance, at relief at source and higher rate taxpayers might get their higher rate tax through a tax coding adjustment rather than having to go to self-assessment. And those people who are on net pay and not getting any tax relief because they're not paying any tax will get their government incentive as if it was relief at source through some kind of coding adjustments as well.
So in effect, the government will pick up the tab for the 20% tax relief that net pay arrangements non-taxpayers do not get versus 20% given by default for the source.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely that they'll do it on a retrospective basis. I think unlikely, that's our personal view. Yeah. I think it's quite likely that they will do it going forward at some stage in the future, at the Treasury's discretion, blah, 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 wait till 2025, but it will come. Yeah. At least they're saying they're going to do something about it. Okay? Are we out of time, Mr. Chairman?
Just on time. Is there any final question for Henry? In which case, do you mind joining me in round of applause, Henry? And thank you.